In the heart of the 19th century, as Japan stood at a crossroads between ancient tradition and the modern world, one man's story would define an era. This is the story of Saigō Takamori, a giant of a man in both stature and spirit, often called the last true samurai. His life was a whirlwind of loyalty, rebellion, and profound change, a tale that still echoes through Japan today. Born in 1828 in the powerful domain of Satsuma, Saigō was destined for greatness. He grew up immersed in the strict code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. For a samurai, honor, courage, and loyalty were everything. He was a master of martial arts, but also a scholar and a poet, embodying the ideal samurai spirit. But the world outside Japan was changing rapidly. Western powers, with their formidable steamships and advanced weaponry, were knocking on Japan's door, forcing the isolated nation to confront a future it could no longer ignore. Saigō rose through the ranks in Satsuma, a domain known for its fierce warriors and independent spirit. He became a key advisor to his lord, Shimazu Narukira, a progressive leader who saw the need for Japan to modernize to protect its sovereignty. Together, they navigated the treacherous political landscape of the time, a period known as the Bakumatsu. The end of the shogunate. Japan was deeply divided. Should they resist the foreigners and uphold tradition, or embrace Western technology and reform the nation from within? Saigō was a pragmatist. He understood that Japan couldn't fight the West with swords and spears alone. He became a central figure in a movement to overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate, the military government that had ruled Japan for over 250 years, and restore power to the emperor. He believed a unified nation under the emperor was the only way to stand strong against foreign influence. He was a brilliant military strategist and a charismatic leader who inspired deep loyalty among his followers. His philosophy was simple: act with sincerity, and the heavens will help you. The conflict culminated in the Boshin War. Saigō, as a commander of the imperial forces, led his army to victory. In a pivotal moment, he negotiated the bloodless surrender of Edo Castle, the shogun's stronghold, preventing a devastating battle in the heart of what is now Tokyo. This act of mercy and strategic brilliance cemented his reputation as a great leader. With the shogun's fall, the young Emperor Meiji was restored to power, heralding a new era for Japan, the Meiji Restoration. Initially, Saigō was a hero of the new government. He became a field marshal and a key member of the Meiji administration. He oversaw radical reforms that would transform Japan at a breathtaking pace. The feudal domains were abolished, a national army was created, and the country eagerly adopted Western industry, fashion, and political systems. But for Saigō, this rapid change came at a terrible cost. The very class he belonged to, the samurai, was being dismantled. The new government stripped the samurai of their privileges, their right to carry swords, and their social status. For centuries, they had been the soul of Japan, its protectors and administrators. Now, they were a relic of the past, left without purpose or income. Saigō watched in dismay as the values he held sacred: honor, loyalty, and the warrior spirit were cast aside in the rush to modernize. He felt the new Japan was becoming materialistic and soulless. He argued fiercely in government, advocating for a more measured approach that respected Japan's heritage. His most passionate plea was for an expedition to Korea, partly to reassert Japan's prestige, but also to give the disenfranchised samurai a noble cause to fight for. But his proposals were rejected. His colleagues, who had once fought alongside him, now saw him as an obstacle to progress. Heartbroken and disillusioned, Saigō resigned from all his government posts in 1873. He returned to his homeland of Satsuma, a hero walking away from the very world he had helped create. In Kagoshima, he established private schools that focused on traditional samurai training and values. He wanted to preserve the spirit of Bushido for future generations. Thousands of former samurai, who felt abandoned by the new Japan, flocked to his side. They saw him not just as a teacher, but as their last hope. Tensions between Saigō's followers in Satsuma and the central government in Tokyo reached a breaking point. The government, fearing the growing power of this samurai stronghold, made a series of moves that were seen as a direct provocation. In 1877, pressured by his impassioned followers and believing the emperor was being misled by corrupt officials, Saigō made a fateful decision. He would march to Tokyo, not to overthrow the emperor, but to question the government and restore true honor to the nation. This was the beginning of the Satsuma Rebellion. It was a war of the old against the new. Saigō's army of traditional samurai, armed with swords and old-fashioned rifles, faced the Meiji government's new conscript army, equipped with modern artillery and Gatling guns. Trained by European officers. It was a tragic, desperate conflict. The samurai fought with incredible bravery, embodying the warrior spirit Saigō had taught them. They were masters of close combat. But they were hopelessly outmatched by the government's superior numbers and firepower. For months, they fought a losing battle across the island of Kyushu. Saigō's army was pushed back again and again, their numbers dwindling. The final stand took place at the Battle of Shirayama, a hill overlooking the city of Kagoshima. In the immediate aftermath, the government branded Saigō a traitor. But the people of Japan never saw him that way. They saw a man of unwavering principle who fought for what he believed in, a tragic hero who sacrificed himself for a lost cause. His sincerity and his dedication to the samurai code resonated deeply with the public. They saw in him the embodiment of the Japanese spirit they feared was being lost. Over time, the government's view began to change. Recognizing the immense public admiration for him, they posthumously pardoned Saigō in 1889. His story became a national legend, a cautionary tale about the human cost of rapid progress. A magnificent bronze statue of Saigō Takamori was erected in Ueno Park in Tokyo, a powerful symbol of his enduring legacy. He stands not as a rebel, but as a national hero, a reminder of the traditions and values that forged modern Japan. Saigō Takamori's life was a paradox. He was a revolutionary who helped topple the old order, yet he became a rebel who fought to preserve its spirit. He was a modernizer who championed the ancient ways. His story is not just the tale of the last samurai, it is the story of Japan itself, caught between a cherished past and an uncertain future. It's a timeless human drama about loyalty, honor, and the painful struggle to hold onto one's soul in a world of relentless change. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into history, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.